It's Rob!
Tony!
We're in gaming!
And that's you!
Hello gamers and welcome back to the end. I'm Rob, of course, or Warshack if you want to call me by my in-game name. And today we're going to be doing a Zoo Warlock deck guide. If you've watched our deck testing video, this deck worked out incredibly well. It's not really that much different than any normal Zoo deck you're going to play. There's basically two variants at the moment. There's the Sea Giant variant and the Doomguard variant. We're running the Doomguard variant as it seems to be more effective at the moment. The Sea Giants are good, but they're just a little bit too slow because they can get hexed, they can get polymorphed, they can get it executed, they get shield slammed. With the Doom Guards, not only are you able to kind of charge it out and get that damage in ASAP, but half the time you're only discarding one card, if none, depending on the situation you're in. So you don't actually have to wait to build up the field with the Sea Giant, which if you're playing against a warrior, they brawl it out. But either way, for those of you unfamiliar with our deck guides, we're going to go ahead and play 3 ranked games, maybe 4, depending on if we win or lose. Hopefully we can win all 3. If we happen to lose one along the way, 3-1 will be our record, worst case scenario. Or maybe I'll just post all of this if I feel like it. So we'll see what happens. We'll also explain the deck, why I do what I do, and at the end of this video, we'll go ahead and talk about the deck and all of the synergies within the deck that we may not have covered during the video and while playing the deck itself. So, obviously, Void Caller on turn 1, Knife Juggler on turn 2. There were no really distinct decisions there that said, hey, we needed to definitely play one card over the other. Unfortunately, now we're in a bit of a conundrum because we know the Doomsayer is bad, so we have no way of killing the Doomsayer. If we could have drawn maybe our Crazed Alchemist, which I swear to God, if I tap and we could draw, okay. I was gonna be a little upset if we tapped and drew into the Crazed Alchemist. I'd be a little sad, but either way, this is, I guess, fine in a sense. It gives him over initiative, but he hasn't played the weapon, so is him getting a weapon killing off 2 creatures or him whipping out the Doomguard? So we could go into the Bran Bronzebeard Flame Imp, deal 6 damage to ourself synergy. I think that's pretty solid. I'm just kidding. We'll go Flame Imp and then Bran so we don't take 6. And then he's going to do all he can to kill Bran. So I see like a swinging for the Alkali of Pain, maybe play the War Axe. This isn't a great start against the Warrior by any means, but we have the ability to tap every turn and kind of maybe outvalue him there. But he's going to draw at least 2 cards with that Alkali of Pain. Which is a problem. So he's going to go in and swing to Brand. So I see a War Axe coming down to kill it, or an Execute, one thing or the other, or the Bash. That works as well. And then probably just end the turn there. Okie dokie. So we could go with the Dark Councilman tap, or the tap Councilman, or we could just go with the Dwarf and then swing into the Alkali of Pain. The problem with that is we give up 5 damage, which is a pretty big deal. So I think we're just going to go with this line of play. We can't afford him keeping the armor because then he can just shield slam the 4/4. He's also just going to make the trade with the Alkalite anyway this turn. So whether or not he swings the Alkalite into the 3/2 and decides he wants to like Revenge or Whirlwind or Blood Icor or whatever he's got planned. Ravaging Ghoul. Okay. And then coin into 3-drop, another Bash. Okay. That is a lot right now. Alright, so double power overwhelming Councilman. So we go Councilman, Google-eyed Octopops. He turns into a 3/5. We have 3 tentacles out, or we could just go with the 6 tentacle surprise. We'll just go with the Councilman with the 3 tentacles. It makes it so we buff up the Councilman and puts 3 1/1s out there. It's a decent. It also makes so if we draw into a creature, we can maybe Gormok. Unless we have to tap and then draw into 2 creatures, then we don't Gormok. So it was like summon 6 tentacles. Most likely we're going to get a Gormok value, or go ahead and base our value off the Councilman. The problem is he has 3 armor, so he could just armor up, shield slam this, and then just tidy up these 1/1s. So it was a rough game from the start with that Doomsayer. I said it wasn't a big deal because I want to pretend like it wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal. We even put Crazed Alchemist in our deck just for that reason. But, I mean, you can never, if you just don't draw it, you can never use it, right? So there's the Alkalite. I'm expecting a Whirlwind ability here. Another Ravaging Ghoul. Alright. No Execute, though, onto the Councilman. He doesn't have enough mana. Okay, so we have Doomguard. I do not think we play Doomguard. It's too much. It's too much right now. Defender also probably not something we're going to play. So I guess we're just going to play Gormok and then make the If we trade into this, he can just kill it with Alkalite. If we swing face, we have to go for field right now. There's no way. There's just no way. Oh god, sorry guys. Did not mean to hit the mic there. We still haven't gotten the perfect setup for this mic yet. It's still new. We're still figuring things out. So he's gonna slam, draw a card, swing there, and then he'll be able to swing his 3-2 into the 4-2. He still has 8 cards in his hand, and he still has 27 life. He's playing that sweet control warrior game. Double power overwhelming, not helping us too much right now. So we'll tap. Not a ton of options here, folks. Not a ton of options. We go Doomguard and then swing into the Harrison. Or we just go Imp Gang Boss, Abusive, and then he just kills the Imp Gang Boss. Which is a problem. And then we end up with a 2-1 and a 1-1. Or we go Doomguard, discard 2 cards. I don't think we can afford to do that. It's a very weak turn. We didn't draw into any of our peddlers, any of our 1-1s that are sticky. The Imp Gang Boss came a little late. So there's the Imp Gang Boss death. Maybe a Whirlwind, maybe a Revenge. Probably a Revenge. Probably not. The 2-6 coming out. The double 2-6, not that big of a deal because we can get through those with the power overwhelmings. So we could. Well, this is power overwhelming, kills that. Wolf on this side. If we double power overwhelming, they're both gonna die anyway, and we're defendering no matter what. So we defender, that'd be 5-6. Then we have 3, so I suppose we could tap. Peddler is decent. So defender, power, and then kill off these guys. And now our defender can theoretically kill this Harrison, maybe. And then the following turn is going to be like Dark Peddler, play Wolf, play the 1-drop from Peddler, play Doomguard, discard 1 card. But then he still hasn't brawled yet, so that's going to be rough. Hold me, hold me. Who plays Control Warrior rank 15? First day of the season, I want 25-minute games, folks. That's what I want. I won't even do that to you guys. I play Control Warrior later on, like rank 5 when it actually matters. Alright, so we'll go Dark Peddler. We'll see what we get. I don't want to tap necessarily yet. Elven Archer value. Unfortunately, we cannot finish this guy off. I wish it was like a Stone Tusk boar, because then we can play like Direwolf Alpha, put the boar next to him, do some work. But unfortunately, we don't have that the ability to do so. So I guess we're. No, I'm not gonna waste any more time.
You win.
Restart. It's not well played, you fucking bitch. Hello gamers and welcome back to the end. I'm Rob, of course, or Warshack if you want to call me by my in-game name. And today we're going to be playing the Zoo Warlock and we'll be making the Zoo Warlock. Fuck this. Hello gamers and welcome back to the end. I'm Rob, of course, or Warshack if you want to call me by my in-game name. And today we're going to be playing what the fuck am I saying? Hello gamers and welcome back to the end. I'm Rob, of course, or Warshack if you want to call me by my in-game name. And today we're going to be doing the Zoo Warlock deck guide. Hopefully I have posted the deck testing video for you. We have not changed any cards in the Zoo deck, as the deck basically speaks for itself. There's theoretically only 2 variants of it right now. One with the Sea Giants, one with the Doom Guards. Both perform well, just depends on kind of your play style. The Doom Guards, in my opinion, are a little bit better due to the fact that you can play them whenever you want. You do have to discard 2 cards, but because all the cards in the Zoo cost anywhere between 1 to 3 mana for the most part, most of the time you don't discard 2 cards. Also, the ability of it charging out is very, very important. So the Imp Gang Boss is always nice, but we don't necessarily have a 1 or 2 drop, but we do have coins, so theoretically we can play it on 2. So right now we're looking for either another 3 drop or a just a 1, 2, 3, or we can just get none of the above. So yeah, it's not one of the hands we were looking to get off of the bat, but it's okay. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the end and not sure how our deck guides work, we aim to win 3 in a row, but if we can't win 3 in a row, oh, there's our 1-drop. This is exciting. We play 3 games. We win 3 in a row, and if we can't win 3 in a row, we can lose 1 along the way as long as it's not the first game. So we get like a redemption game, right? So we go 3-1 worst case, 3-0 best case. And at the end of the video, of course, we'll talk about the deck, the synergies within the deck, and then all that good stuff, what to expect, what not to expect, and all the card breakdowns, what's important, what's not important. So we're gonna go coin into the boss here, and then we're just gonna swing into this 3-2. And the field is the most important thing about Zoo. The second you lose the field, you lose the game, especially if we're going against a Druid, and it shows that he's playing some sort of aggro / token Druid. So it's very important that we keep the board. Our turn 3 looks like a brand, and then our turn 4 defender. Very, very powerful turn there, if we can get the 2 to combo together. So Innervate, Nourish. Looks like he's going for the draw 3 cards, which is fine. Doesn't really stop the field at all. And when we play Brand, and if he can't deal with it with maybe like a swipe, it's going to generate us a huge amount of value, because the Defender of Argus is going to give +2/+2 instead of the +1/+1 it normally gives. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see like either a swipe onto Brand or a Wrath passive. Wild Growth passive. Oh man, Druid, this is gonna be a rough day for you. It's gonna be a rough day. So we're gonna put this in between here, gives them all +2/+2, and then we're just gonna go to town. Next turn we can go with the Direwolf, Googly-Eyed Octopops, or we could probably go, depending on what he plays here, maybe Leroy. It all depends on what he plays, to be honest. Swipe onto the Brand. Okay, and then do we have the Wrath? Living Roots, okay. So what I see now is a tap. Abusive is nice. So we have 3 mana. I see the Direwolf. The question is, I think, do we put it right here? And I believe so. And then we're gonna put the Voidwalker on the left-hand side. And the reason being is he has to get through the Imp Gang boss because it has taunt, right? I guess we could have gone about not playing the Voidwalker and just gone the Abusive. The Abusive might have been the better choice than the Voidwalker, because now we can kill the Voidwalker and then kill this. But anyway, we wanted to put it on the left-hand side, so we can sacrifice our tokens here with the +1 attack, and it also gives the +1 attack to a taunt, which he's going to have to get through, but it was my mistake by playing the Voidwalker here. We should have just gone the Abusive, but it looks like that didn't matter. With the Brand Bronzebeard into the double Defender Battle Cry is just insane, especially against a Druid that can't like brawl it out or something like that. So it was our first one with the deck. Just need to pony up two more. And keep in mind, the reason we're rank 15, I should have mentioned this at the start, is because it's a brand new season. It's July 1st. This is basically, we did our deck testing from like rank 18 to now, and we won like 4 in a row or something stupid like that. And then now we're just gonna do the deck testing, or the deck guide. All right, so we got the Flame Imp, Knife Juggler. That's the 1-2. Now we just need the 3, and then into the 4, into the 5. It's a lot to ask for, but we'll get it. The 1-2-2 is fine too. I remember if you get like double Flame Imp, it's crazy. You just you Flame Imp, coin Flame Imp, and it's just like, what do you get? What is the opponent gonna do? Unless you have like, your opponent has a War Axe, but then they still take at least 9 damage. Because they swing, yeah, it's bad news bears. So we'll go Knife Juggler, swing for 3. So next turn we could go Knife Juggler, Abusive, and that's going to be double ping +2 attack, and then the additional 5, the 3 from the 5 from the Knife Juggler and the Flame Imp, and then the additional 2 from the Abusive. So he's going to coin probably a Totem Golem here. So it looks like his start is really, really strong as well. So at least we're not going to blow him out of the water. So we're going to go Knife Juggler, see where the juggle lands. Okay. And then we're going to Abusive. And we're going to put it on the Flame Imp. Let's see what happens here. That kind of sucks. I was hoping... Yeah. Well, either way, this has to happen. The field, as I said, is the most important thing. He's probably just going to totem here unless he has another totem golem. And if he does, that's oh my god. This guy's start was as good as ours, folks. But this is really good, drawing that Abusive Sergeant. That is huge here, because now we can Abusive Sergeant our Abusive Sergeant, make the trade with the totem golem, and then go face for the 2. And he's still going to be overloaded 1, which means he can't play the 4-drop 7/7. And then our turn 5 is most likely going to be, we go Doomguard if we want to be a frisky dingo, or we could just go Imp Gang Boss or passive Imp Gang Boss. Defender of Argus is really good too. I think we can go tap Imp Gang Boss. I think that's fair. And then this is going to swing here. And then Knife Juggler face. We have a very strong hand at the moment, so next turn's probably going to be like Possessed Villager, Power Overwhelming, Defender. Hopefully he plays something like the 5/5. Ooh, Doomhammer. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So he's going for the field control here, which is fine. So we'll just go with the casual Possessed Villager, Defender combo. And then we'll swing for 3. It's going to be rough for his Doomhammer to get through this. Defender of Argus is so very good. And then next turn's like Power Overwhelming Doomguard for 9 damage, at least. So the Hex is solid on his part here. He's going to take at least 2 damage here, putting him at 12. Okay. We could just go Imp Gang Boss, Impaler, and then just go face. There's no reason not to. The only thing that I guess he could do here is double Rockbiter for 16. Yeah, he double Rockbiter, Lightning Bolt, Lava Burst. That would kill us. We could have went Doomguard, but then we lose PO. And there's no point to push that much damage. I'd rather just build up the field, because he's going to have to swing. Oh, wow. Look at him go. So Lightning Storm, if it hits 2, that would be key. It hits 3 here, hits 3 there. That's really good. Hits 2 there. Wow, that's pretty good. It's still not enough, though. Well, it actually... No, it's still not enough. Well, theoretically, it kind of is enough. So if we PO this, and it's a 5/5, and this goes face for 5, and then he's put at 1. Or we could just tap, look for a creature. Didn't get the creature. That kind of stinks. But we can still Dark Iron Dwarf this, swing into there, and we still have a 4/4 with the ability to Power Overwhelming it next turn. So he's going to have to swing his weapon in there, putting him at 4 or 2 if he decides unless he can kill it like with a Lightning Bolt. So there's a Faceless. Is that a Lightning Bolt? Oh, it's a Storm Crack. Wow. And he's going to go face for 4. All right. Well, the problem with Doomguard is that if it can discard the Power Overwhelming, and it'll be bad. If we go Direwolf Alpha, Defender of Argus, I guess we just have to Doomguard, and hopefully it doesn't discard the Power Overwhelming. It does. But then we can just Defender of Argus and then swing for 6. So there was a decent amount of outs there. We also could have tapped and got something like a Peddler into like an Elven Archer or something. Okie dokie, so that's 2-0. So we just need one more game to kind of sum this up. I wish I could play, actually the games are fast. We might play 4, who knows, we could play 5. But as we mentioned in our deck testing video, the one hopefully I posted before this, Rob, make sure you do that. The games are fast, and aggro deck is just not, these aren't my favorite decks to play, guys. Like, playing Zoo, I'm doing this because it was requested by you guys. A lot of you guys actually requested that we do the Zoo deck. So I don't really like the Defender. The Councilman's always pretty sick in the opening hand, and the Void Walkers are good, but against the Shamans, with Shamans have very powerful starts, such as Totem Golem and the Tunnel Trog, and the Void Walkers just really don't do a great job at dealing with that. So we're actually just gonna hold on to the Councilman, and hopefully we get like another 3-drop or a 1-drop. All right, so we got a 1-drop, which I suppose is fine. Normally we'd want to just make better trades with this, but this is not so good. Give us another 2-drop, another 4-drop. So I guess we have to coin into the Peddler, and then next turn we'll play the Abusive, and then whatever we get out of the Peddler. So we go Stone Tusk or Possessed Villager. I kind of like the Villager. Even though the Stone Tusk does have charge, the Villager basically is a 1-drop 2/2. with the ability to power up the councilman if we decide we want to kill it off. So it's fair. Going against Shaman's always rough with the Zoo, because if they run Lightning Storm, we're in a bit of a pickle. Same thing with Warrior. Warriors have Brawl. But if we go against, like, let's say Druid, Priest, Hunter, another Warlock, normally we do pretty well. Especially Hunter, because we can just swarm the field. They don't have any huge board clear unless they run Explosive Shot over Freezing Trap, which the only person I know who does that is me. Okay, so we can go Villager, Voidwalker here, and the reason being is both of these cards contest as 3-1, and then we can go ahead and abuse of one of these to kill the totem next turn. Or if we can draw into our Crazed Alchemist just once, we'll be able to switch the attack and defense, and then I'll have 3 attack, 0 defense. If it has the 0 defense, that means it dies. For those of you who are unfamiliar with how that mechanic works. So as long as he doesn't play Feral Spirits here, we're all right. Totem Golem, please not. Oh god, did he just get another flame? Oh, he just got a Totem Golem. That just happened. All right, so we just need to draw into a 2-drop. Googlyad Octopopse. So if we abuse of this, swing into there. We have 2. We summon these 2. It's not that great. We know this is happening though, and the question is, do we kill off this, or do we, like, what do we value here? The Flame Tongue Totem doesn't really do anything right now, because the damage doesn't matter. And then if we play 2/1/1s, it's pretty good, or if we tap, that doesn't do anything. So we have to play 2/1/1s. We have to battle for the board. That's the only way right now. So as long as he doesn't Lightning Storm and play Feral Spirits, he's had a pretty good start, especially getting that Totem Golem. Like, come on. If you had gotten any Totem, it would have been okay, but Totem Golem, it's just not one of those things you want to see. So he's actually going to get severely punished here, because he did not kill the 1/1. So we can actually, yeah, this is fine. So we'll deal 4 damage to this, swing into here for 1, and then we can actually kill the Totem Golem, or we can kill the Flame Tongue Totem. And I think it's fair to kill the this totem, and then go face for 1. The reason being is we're prone to Lightning Storm, but he didn't use it before, so I'm assuming he doesn't have it, unless he valued playing a 5/5 with Taunt more than clearing my board. And he should have, without a doubt, swung his Totem Golem into our 2/1, so we couldn't get Gormok value. That was the only reason it was the only reason we were able to come back in that situation there. And then next turn looks like it's like probably a Defender of the Argus turn, or Defender of Argus, or maybe the Darkshire Councilman into a 2-drop if we draw one, or a 1-drop depending on how powerful the 1-drop is. Taunt Totem's pretty fair for him right now. Maybe he was looking for spell power if he has the Lightning Storm off the top. But so the Abusive Sergeant to make the trade with the 4/4. Okay. If he would have gone face here, I would have been a little bit disappointed in him. Flame Tongue Totem is also fair. Okay, this is a good card for us to draw, the wolf. So what we want to go here is, if we go here, yeah. So we're going to wolf right here. This trades into here. This trades into here. And this trades into here. And then there's still a creature on either side of the wolf. And we've gained the board back. We are now in a fair situation. Unless he has like some sort of Hex or a Lava Burst to kill that Councilman, the Councilman's going to be able to trade into whatever he plays. The Doomhammer's very good. The Doomhammer allows him to sacrifice his health to deal damage. And because he attacks this, it shows he probably has Lightning Bolt. Okay. So now we can tap into Defender. Or we can just go Imp, Defender, and then swing for 3. And because the Imp has 3 HP, it's going to be really tough for this Doomhammer to get through unless he Rock Biters. But then he basically is taking 7 damage to face, used a Rock Biter to deal damage like that instead of going to our face, putting us at 12. So which means we have the more flexible, we are more flexible and able to tap. I actually haven't been able to play Leroy yet to like close out a game. I don't know, he's a good card. Like Leroy Power or Leroy Power Overwhelming. Such a crazy combo. 10 damage for 6 mana. Alright, so it looks like he's gonna be able to get through our defenses, which is good for him. Villager's good. Doomguard's fair. The problem with the Doomguard is we're gonna discard our Leroy and stuff, but it's a necessary evil. So I guess one of these swings into there, and then I guess the Doomguard can go face. Well, okay. This stays alive, this hits there. Yeah, let's just go face. Because he's going to swing this 2-1 into this 2-1 anyway, and his Doomguard can't kill that. And if he has, I guess he has Rockbiter. It was weak to that, because then he can swing 2-1 into 5-7, Rockbiter, kill both. But if we would have swung into there, Rockbiter, would have killed both anyway. And then we'd have lost 5 damage out on face. Yeah, that's fine. So right now, what would be his decision? Rockbiter face, put us at 6, knowing we can't tap, and then he still has 4 more damage. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, well, what can we draw that helps us? Another Defender of Argus for sure. Googly-Eyed Octopops is good. Imp Gang Boss is good. So we're just gonna play everything here. There's no point to kill off our 2-1. So as long as he doesn't draw a Rockbiter, we live one more turn. Ugh. We also could have not tapped there and been at 12 HP. But either way, if he draws a Rockbiter, we'd lose. Alright, we're still in this. So right now, he should definitely make trades. But he might just go face, because he sees that being great. Look at him go. Dun, 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 dun. Face is the place. Face is the place. Alright. Defender's fantastic here. Trying to plan this out as best as possible. So this swings here. This swings here. This swings here. This swings here. We know this goes here. And now, do we kill the totems? If he draws Thunder Bluff, these go to 2, and they still can't get through. But we still have lethal no matter what next turn. And there's no spell. Like, there's no reason to kill those. That at all. Yeah. There'd be no point. If he draws Flame Tongue, that's 3 and 3, and still Flame Tongue doesn't do anything. Yeah, there's no way. There's no point to kill those totems. If he draws any sort of damage, we lose no matter what. If we were at like 4 HP, I would have killed Spell Power Totem because of Lightning Bolt. But if he draws Lava Burst, Lightning Bolt, we still lose anyway. Whether he has Spell Power or not. So if he drew lethal, he'll hold on to it for a little bit. He'll fondle with it. He'll like it. He'll you know. But if he doesn't have it, he'll Kensami out like he just did. Okay. All right, so that's 3-0 with the Zoo deck. Wow, I feel like I'm the best player ever. Just kidding, guys. If you want to play Zoo, you're more than welcome to. It's a great deck. It does very well. And you're able to play really quick games, which is what makes the deck so powerful. Is you can just keep knocking out these games, like boom, 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 boom. And it's like, you can play, let's say you can play 5 games an hour with a control deck. You can play 10 games an hour with Zoo. So, like, theoretically, you can play more games and therefore maybe win more games. So you instead of, only winning 3 or 4 an hour, you're winning 7 or 8 and only losing 2, and you're playing more games. You're seeing more of what cards are on the meta. You're able to practice the deck more, and also your tighter squeeze of time. So there's a lot of reasons why Zoo is like a really popular deck, and the fact that it's super cheap. Like, the deck costs literally nothing to make, in comparison to other decks that will perform as well. Like, for example, Control Warrior very good deck, but it's very expensive. But Zoo is very cheap, and Zoo can beat Control Warrior, as we've seen in the past, and I've lost to Zoo many times with my Control Warrior. So it's not necessarily the dust amount that makes the deck great. So looking at the deck list here, we'll talk about it, some synergies that we may not have hit on, but most of the time everything's pretty self-explanatory in my opinion. The Forbidden Ritual, it's basically the new Implosion without dealing damage. It utilizes all the mana you have left over to make 1/1 tentacles, which I call googly-eyed octopops. And it works very well with your Knife Juggler, works very well with your Darkshire Councilman. It also works well with your Defender of Argus, your Direwolves. It's just making sure you use them at the correct time, create as many as you can, and then minion placement from there is key. Power Overwhelming is your burst damage, whether you're using it to get through like a huge taunt wall or to push damage face. Very key. The Abusive Sergeants allow you to trade up with your smaller minions to get past things that you normally wouldn't to get past, because you're kind of trying to outvalue your opponent in a very efficient and cheap manner. The Flame Imp's a fantastic one-drop. The Possessed Villager is basically you play this guy and you're able to Power Overwhelming it, kill a card with it, and then it comes back as a 1/1 at the end of the turn and will pop, let's say, your Councilman or your Knife Juggler for another ping or another +1 attack because the death rattle from him. Your Void Walker is your small taunt wall that's pretty annoying for your opponent to get past, so you can kind of tuck away. So maybe your Knife Jugglers or your Bronzebeard behind the Void Walker, so they have to waste an attack or a spell to get through it. The Crazed Alchemist is to deal with Shaman Totems and or Doom Sayers, which we didn't really get to because we didn't draw them at all. The Dark Peddlers are, in my opinion, what makes this deck really, really good. I mean, there's a lot of cards in here that synergize well, but the Dark Peddler, the ability to give you more than one, or I should say 2 Power Overwhelmings in your deck, or to give you an out with another Abusive Sergeant. There's just a lot of options Dark Peddler brings to the table when you play him. And the fact that you can combo him with Brand is really powerful. The Direwolf Alpha, because of the amount of tokens in this deck, placing your Direwolf Alpha next to them gives them the ability to either A, push more damage, or B, trade with creatures they normally couldn't. And you can kind of go down the line and just sacrifice your tokens with the Direwolf and deal, double damage in comparison to their normal 1 attack. The Knife Jugglers are kind of self-explanatory. You play a bunch of cards in this deck, especially creatures, and you want to do as much damage as possible, and his ability allows you to do that. The Brand synergizes well with the Battle Cries. Just be careful, though, when you play Brand that you're using it like with the positive synergies, such as the Dark Peddlers, the Defender of Arguses, the Dark Iron Dwarfs, the stuff like that. The Gormok the Impaler, getting 8 damage from Gormok is huge, but unfortunately you can use the Brand to your disadvantage, whether you play him with Doomguard, discard 4 cards, or you're using him with Flame Imp, deal 6 damage to yourself. So just be careful with him and make sure you play them in the correct order. The Councilman's a staple, not going to go over why that's good. Imp Gang Boss is a staple, not going to go over why that's good. The Dark Iron Dwarf, this is kind of a funny card because it's normally not a card you'd see in Zoo, right? It's a 4-drop, 4/4, give +2 to an attack of a creature. And we know how good Abusive Sergeant is, so why not play a bigger version of Abusive Sergeant? It has a decent body, and it synergizes with Brand, so that's why we play one of those. And I guess if you don't want to play Crazed Alchemist, you can switch another Crazed Alchemist with the second Dark Iron. Defender of Argus, not going to explain why this is good. Gives your creatures taunt, +1/+1, synergizes well with Brand. Gormok, synergizes well with Brand. Like we've seen, it's basically the only reason we beat the Shaman in the last game. We were able to Gormok down his 5/5 taunt, trade off a token, and then be able to deal with the field efficiently. The Doom Guards, you can replace these with Sea Giants if you like that variant better. You can play either variant. I just like the Doom Guards better. It's just my personal playstyle. Actually, I don't like this deck, period, as you've mentioned me say. But if I had to play this deck, Doomguard is my choice of card. And then the Leroy Jenkins, as we know, the infamous Leroy. You Power Overwhelming Leroy, push 10 damage with 6 mana, or you can go ahead and double Power Overwhelming Leroy and deal 14 damage. Just make sure your opponent doesn't have a Knife Juggler on their side of the field, because let's say you Leroy Jenkins and it summons 2/1/1 whelps for your opponent, and both of the whelps, like the Knife Juggler they have, through you summoning 2 whelps for them, pings your Leroy twice. That's happened to me, and I've cried. So don't let that happen. Be careful. And that basically sums up the Warlock, or the Zoo Warlock deck. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the deck that I may not have gotten to, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. I try to get back to you and kind of respond as quickly as possible. But with an ever-growing number of inmates, which are you guys, and the same amount of just me's. Getting to these comments is getting harder and harder. So feel free, if you're a veteran in member and you see a comment that you can answer, like the infamous "Where is Jeff?" or I don't know, "What's the dust count?" or some silly question that you guys know that I'm going to answer and you guys can hit it. Please help me out. So as always, guys, I'm Warshack, of course, and happy whatever the hell day it is.